I think that'll be a very bad idea.
I feel like one of your characters already did. I mean, what?
What?
Freaking don't remind me, okay?
I was saying too late. Cam already, one of her characters already did, meaning Cam.
Oh.
Really? Too freaking soon! It was even off camera, dude! I'm not.
You did this to yourself.
You rolled it.
A lot of it's random events based on rules because it helps me.
Yep.
Just like the thing that Jay chose. Anyways.
I'm scared.
Don't worry about it.
I will worry about it, thank you.
It's fine. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. Last time it was a lot of RP again, but it was more of trying to figure out what the next move was. Harx went and found out some information. Found out that he could go to his little town. Because what's his face rolled really well on investigation checks.
Mm-hmm.
And asking the right sources. Believe Mihi and Reyan also had a little bit of a personal conversation.
Yes. Responsibility and things.
Yeah. Yeah! That was basically all that happened, was a lot of conversations, and I don't remember the context of most of them. Jax is going with them. Rand's nervous, he hasn't thought about the reason yet.
Listen...
Or what the possible reason is. The Aspire is always nervous, though.
I am just constantly nervous.
I need to look for one thing back here, because that's right, something is gonna happen before you guys actually get going.
Okay.
Where did they go?
Who are you looking for?
No one in particular.
You're looking for these people.
No.
Oh, that's concerning.
I'm looking for, 2 other people.
What's you looking for?
I think I know who she's looking for.
I just don't know where I put their tokens.
Is who I think you're looking for? The people.
That's why I'm trying to see if I set them aside somewhere, if I...
Gotcha.
They're not in there. Where did they go? I would have set them.
I don't know what I'm looking for.
I would have set them with each other. Did I set them just aside somewhere?
Oh,
Oh yeah, okay. As you guys are getting ready to leave, you know, you guys hopping on the dragons, blushy boys being held by Mihi. It's not subtle, because they're trying to get specifically one of your attention. You hear a whistle from the tree line. And you look over and you see 2 people standing there, and they're more looking towards Harx. But you could tell that he was the one that whistled.
Harx looks over at him.
They look like they want to talk, but they're not approaching for obvious reasons. They were told to stay away from the friends.
Pardon me one moment. And he will...
Does anybody follow him?
That's... Player wants to so bad, but I feel like, you know how, like...
They're clearly not intimidated by the fact that you have all of this.
Yeah. I just... Reyan has enough self-preservation on the off chance that these people are not going to fully keep their word, and considering he knows where they came from, and not the entire story, but enough that he's like, I should not approach at all. I should stay back here where it's safe.
That's fair.
So
They did make themselves known. Okay.
Flap is not endangering the tiny child.
That's fair.
His face is doing a weird though. What's up with that?
Don't worry about it. She looks irritated.
Oh, what seems to be the issue?
My father won't tell me where it is because he doesn't want me to leave this place. She looks really annoyed. She's just,
Where the village is, or the where the orphan village was.
Yeah, because that's quite literally across the map, across the continent.
Would Harx have a map on him of some sort? Maybe. No.
That's up.
Or would they? Do you have a map?
They probably do, because they probably actually haven't always been here. She's not very old, but most likely she has at least some map because she had to navigate the Feywild.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have a map?
Yeah. And she'll pull it out of her bag and hand it over.
He will look it over and will mark on the map where it would be.
The rough area, basically.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Rough approximation. No guarantees it's exactly there, but in that general vicinity.
So if we hit the city, we've gone too far. Got it.
Yes. And I would quickly turn back.
Well, I know that some things still live there. That's about all I know. Your friend over there doesn't seem to like me very much. As she looks over at Jax, who is just staring at her with this, like, murderous intent.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest,
I don't think he knows that history.
No. I did fill them in on things, and, well, descriptions aside, it's kind of hard to miss a blue-haired girl and an experimented on shifter individual.
I'm almost positive I realize who that is, and that is not good.
And it'd be my recommendation to go ahead and make yourself scarce.
Well, considering my father's part of the responsibility of why his father is dead, I'm pretty sure he doesn't like me.
You might want to scoot then.
Yes, we're gonna head there. Where are you all off to?
Well, to be quite honest, not entirely sure on location, just sort of looking for the remains of a village that was in the Feywild.
Well, there's a few of those. There are some that are still intact, but it's the Feywild.
This one is most definitely not.
Yeah, it's the Feywild. Things move around.
Oh, indeed.
Some of them
Have
even
a seat.
take you to other places.
Fascinating. We'll have a safe trip. We must get on ours and be back at some point.
We'll be gone by then.
3 of them are still in the house. I would be very cautious about attempting anything. As he turns around and starts walking away.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything, but she does kind of acknowledge that with a nod, and they both head back into the forest.
Gets back over to the group. Alright. Small annoyance over with. So, one less reason not to worry about them. She's defying her father.
And you seem to think that he won't have her followed?
I highly doubt it, considering he didn't want her to leave this area.
That is not instilling confidence.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, nothing really instills confidence in many people nowadays, does it?
Let's go.
Alright.
Trust these people at all.
Fair. She's already technically going against her father by doing these side experiments. Don't worry about it. The intentions behind her side experiments, she hasn't really elaborated too much on, other than that she's trying to research how to fix certain things. You could, because you technically can still see them, ask them if you'd like. And see if she'll give you more forthcoming to anybody.
Who wants to ask the question? Harx is going along with it. He's not going to ask.
I mean, no one. I will say, you kind of asked about it, but you also didn't necessarily ask of why did they choose the Fey Dragon as an experiment. For example, whether or not the other two would think of that, that is up to you.
Flap has other priorities.
Yeah.
Harx wouldn't ask, but player might have just had a small realization. That's fine.
Oh, no.
Terrifying. As much as player wants to ask and press questions and things like that and be confrontational about the entire situation, Reyan's not somebody that is confrontational. He tries to avoid that.
They weren't being aggressive. They seemed to actually be having a nice conversation with Harx just now. Their demeanor's not aggressive, basically.
Right, yeah.
They at least so far have kept to their word to stay away from all of you.
Yes. Player really wants to ask questions and poke at it and try and get more information about what the hell's going on.
Keep it in the back of your mind for a later question then, because eventually Harx is going to see them again.
Yep, and Fox, I messaged you something, because I had a small realization as a player.
Oh dear.
Fine.
You know what? I'm gonna have you roll because of your question.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have you roll an intelligence check because I'm wondering if is Harx actually thinking about this?
He would be, because he's starting to think as far as
that. Okay, so he will realize at least
he knows,
that part.
Yeah.
It is possible, but
So don't roll.
I want you to roll for a different reason.
Okay.
I want you to roll just a general intelligence check.
Okay.
to see if you can possibly put something together that has been said between all this information.
All right. A moment. Give me 1 second, because things are breaking on my end, and I would much rather roll a physical die now, because things are not registering. That is a 18 on the die, 21.
21?
Yep.
21. Okay. So for player knowledge, based on his question, it is possible that she was the one who did it still. She is a little bit older than Zach. She does still look pretty young, but she's also Elven, so you're not sure of her age, but there's only a 20-year difference of he didn't have children at one point, and he had to have had those kids in 20 years.
Yeah. So she's at least, he can tell she's at least
probably
younger than him.
She's probably, you're assuming, in either her late teens or just an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Based on her physical appearance. And how much you know about elves. She definitely looked full elf. So, you know, whoever he was with was another elf, obviously. You assume. That's what you're assuming. But you would also think about some of the conversations you've had. And something that throws you off is, when talking to Zach before, he never mentioned that his sister changed forms, only that her attitude changed. That she became aggressive and more murderous. But he never mentioned anything about her physically changing.
You know, maybe he would be the one to yell over there to him. You know, I just realized you're trying to fix something, aren't you?
Just stops. She kind of looks at him a bit. I'll put them kind of over here. She doesn't... She'll look back at you. Are you wanting her to come back? Or answer that question?
He'll actually start taking steps towards them. Away from the group.
She'll start walking. He'll stay kind of back. She'll actually be the one to approach you. I'm not sure what you mean.
You know, I would like to hazard a guess. You're attempting to fix certain mistakes, or at least alter the behavior of another dragon. Which is why you were originally going to target this one.
My research, as I said, is to learn how to fix things. Now, as you know, the Feywild and the Shadowfell are complete opposites and have opposite effects on things. The Shadowfell will turn them into a shadow dragon over time. The Feywild will turn them into these passive creatures. But they all were chromatic, usually. Or some other form of dragon when they were born. Like your friend over there who was born here. They don't just exist, they're not born like that. I was curious if there was still part of their natural instincts living in there. And you can say that it went a little awry, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it, so my hope was, in my research, to study her from afar, because the Shadowfell takes many years to fully corrupt the dragons. The Feywild should fix them in time. But it takes anywhere from 15 to 20 years for that. At least, before they start showing any signs of the nature change. And we have attempted to confine her here for that reason. Give her reason to stay and things to attack, I guess you could say. Because if she leaves, it might ruin the experiment.
You're actively trying to fix the system.
As long as she stays here, if my theory is correct, the Feywild should eventually fix her.
You know, that might just tilt favor in your way with them. You're not actively trying to harm anyone, you're actually trying to find a way to fix something.
You know, that one back there was dying from a disease until I did some experiments on him. Sometimes genetic experimentation isn't always a flaw. Now, my father knew I was doing this. I would probably become one of his.
Much like your two brothers. Well, no.
No, she doesn't mention
player.
she actually has siblings.
No, that was player mix-up. I meant to say uncles.
Yes.
Much like your two uncles.
You can say that I'm not the only one. But I am a result of an experiment. Being able to take the DNA and genetic makeup of another creature to create one. Or create something that has fallen ill, making it better. Or turning them into a monster. There are multiple routes you can go with it. My original intention was not to harm her, but I did have to get access to the original genetic makeup that she was born from. Most of them aren't related by blood, of course. They just call each other brothers, sisters, whatever they want to call each other, unless they're born here. So trying to find a specific dragon that could fix his illness back there was a bit difficult with most of them being wiped out.
Now, what she's saying back there, is she meaning?
She's talking about the guy back there who's just standing, leaning against a tree right now.
Mhm.
She's essentially saying she had to alter the sister to DNA slightly back to whatever her original dragon stuff was in order to get the genetic makeup she needed to fix him.
Mm.
Because she couldn't necessarily locate this type of dragon anymore.
Mhm.
Which you're well aware of. Many of them have been wiped out, so finding a
Yep.
specific type is very difficult now.
Mhm.
Essentially, whatever he was sick from, she needed that dragon.
Mhm.
Probably something that came from... You can assume most likely it was something that came from a specific plane. The dragons
Mhm.
come from different planes. It was something that maybe they're constitution based or whatever there is in their makeup that needed it
Mm.
was what fixed him. Which is probably why he has a couple different alterations to him.
Mhm. Well, as I said, keep in mind that actually may lean favor in your way.
I won't lie that the alteration was ordered by my father for that one. So my intentions aren't always the best. But they're not necessarily mine.
But the ones that are yours are still better than his.
Well, I still have to put on a bit of a face, otherwise he won't let me be so free.
Seem to have a level head. Keep it that way.
Me and my few siblings, we all think a bit differently. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, that is up to you to determine. One thing my father couldn't quite copy was his mentality. And she worded that very specifically.
Mhm.
Now, is there anything else you need?
Nope, just an observation I made.
I suggest that you just leave the sister alone for now. As long as she remains here. If patience is given, I believe she will be fixed in time.
I will say one of his biggest worries is she is suffering.
Living his passive dragon as long as she did, I could see that. Deep down, I'm sure she knows what she's doing is wrong. But it doesn't mean that her will is strong anymore to fight it.
Well, time will tell.
Unfortunately, it's probably going to take another 5 or 10 years, based on how long it has been.
Well, there's other theories we have.
I'll be curious to hear some of those.
And hear them you will. But first, we need to be successful in finding said answers.
I wish you luck on that. And I do still apologize for your little alteration, but it does help with some of my research. If you must know what you were changed with, I'll have to do some digging. I wasn't the one that created that one. But I do know that there was presence of an ethereal creature. That's about all I know. Which explains the cold nature. Typically those are spirits, and not many of them have DNA to draw. So that at least narrows it down.
Indeed.
Well, if there's nothing else, I believe we should head out before my father catches wind of what we're doing. And I do like my privacy. And she'll kind of pull out a necklace. Non-detection helps.
Very fair. Oh, excuse me.
Stay safe out there, and try not to get teleported to a random place in the Feywild.
Well, that would be quite the adventure, wouldn't it?
Oh, it's not a fun one. She just kind of smirks at that and then turns and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't happened to her a few times. It's fine.
Yeah.
Feywild is like that.
We'll stop in front of Reyan.
Gods.
How about I ease your mind a bit more? She's actively trying to find a way to fix his sister.
Zach kind of tilts his head curiously.
Does seem to help. How exactly is she doing that?
Seems the reason, he turns to Zach, your sister's here is due to the fact that certain planes alter how creatures may act.
I mean, he kind of looks at like his paw. We don't start off looking like this.
No, you don't. That's what she said. She's actually been monitoring your sister to see if there's any changes in the way she is or acts. That's why she's here.
I don't really know too much about it. I just know that we were born normal. Black, red, blue, whatever. If you're born here, it takes less time. About 5 years. But if you're just a normal dragon and you live here for a long time, you turn into, well, what I am.
Also, another thing that might also make you feel a bit better. She doesn't want to be followed by her father. Considering she's currently hidden from him. As well, continued apologies for. He kind of looks himself over. This. And she's not actively trying to hurt anyone.
Not unless she has to. Julius kind of speaking up. Kind of getting what you're saying.
Unless she has to. But even then, she doesn't agree with the things her father makes her do. She does have to keep up a face in order to not become one of his experiments. Much like Keljor and his brother.
Might do us some good to talk to them then when we get back.
Probably.
Because even Theo would have insight on that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to give you all another chance to back out of this endeavor you're following me on.
Ryan's just gonna hold up a hand. Don't.
Figured I'd give it a try. Starts walking back over. Besides, I was expecting a bit more pushback on even going.
We had that fight. There's just... I'm not fighting.
No, we didn't.
We did! We had an
No.
entire fight!
We had a fight about you all coming with me.
Because you made it abundantly clear you were going with or without us. So I figured that fight was not worth it.
Zach is sitting there patiently, just like wagging his tail anxiously now.
Look, I have a feral vampire with me. Are you guys done yet?
Can we please get going and find out whatever dangerous thing we're about to encounter and get back?
Sure. Let's go ahead. Are you ready, Mihi?
You're muted!
Flap flaps.
Flap flaps.
Yeah, good old pre-flight wing stretch.
I take that as a yes.
This is going to be the longest I've probably ever flown. Alright!
If we need to rest, just let me know.
I should be fine, but thank you. Don't imagine he has had many chances to fly long distances.
No. No, and this is like... He said it would take... basically the rest of the day, and if they went straight there and straight back, they could be back by morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be night by the time you get there.
Fun.
Just as a player note. I like to imagine, because he's the way he is, kind of has to do that, like, run,
Yeah.
take off, almost. Like, they don't fly off like normal dragons do, where they just start beating their wings and they can fly. No, they actually have to do a little bit of a running start. So...
That's so cute!
And technically even, like, griffins and stuff do that, so yeah, it makes sense. Because it's the more your body's longer, you're an animal. Makes sense. You gotta get that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Because even birds and dragons and stuff, they kind of have to push themselves off of something. Whether it's the ground or whatever. They always kind of crouch down and then push, if you ever watch a bird.
I take it we're in the air now.
Yes.
Cool.
I was just describing it.
Okay.
Now that you guys are kind of flying over the forest, you haven't really been into the forest at all. Reyan, you've traveled through the forest when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it feels different. It's more lively, more lit up in, like, certain areas, and it's almost like the Feywild is one of those, everything is living technically, but it's almost like it's almost more alive than it used to be. And it only goes on for about a mile, and then kind of dies back down.
Yeah, as they leave that section, he just kind of looks back at where that area was, trying to make a mental note. If he can find that area again, he will try and look at that another time. Or any other spots like it. It's got him curious.
He is a bit ahead, so he doesn't see you look back, but... So he's not gonna say what it was. Because he's leading you guys. Yeah. He is going a little bit more... a little bit slower based on... You guys are not as fast as a dragon.
No.
Even Garrett's not quite as fast as he is. It's... A lot of it has to do with the size and the different type of dragon. But yeah, he is trying to kind of keep it at a minimum 60, basically, speed. His speed's much more than that. He's more gliding through the air. And he does stay well above the tree line. Like, he doesn't want to stay anywhere near the ground. So you guys are pretty high up. It's still a beautiful scene. It's a Feywild. About halfway through your trip, though, I am gonna have you guys make con saves, because... Not the dragons, because they could technically fly that long because they're not sprinting.
Yeah.
but I am gonna have Reyan and Mihi. I know you don't get exhaustion, but I just want to see like if she's tired. Does that make sense?
Second first roll of the night.
It's more to see like can her flying ability handle flying for half a day, much less a whole day. Or she needs to stop and like rest her wings for a minute.
That's 23 for her.
23. What was yours, Aspire?
I got a natural 20, so a total of 21.
Alright, you guys are fine.
I think I know what you mean. Like that aspect, like when you basically open and close your hand the same way at the same time over the course of about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it like would start to cramp up or something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just gets that it's that feeling of exhaustion without actually being exhausted.
That passes after a short coffee break.
Yeah.
Reyan
even a
probably just
coffee
looks like
break,
he's
that's
having
like-
a good time, honestly.
Yeah, because compared to the
Never
rest of
flown
the
cross
world...
country before.
Yeah, well, compared to the rest of the world... Yes, the Feywild has its dangers, but this is actually probably the most peaceful looking place, especially from above.
Mhm.
So
Until you
it's-
get below the trees.
Below the trees, you still gotta worry about other creatures, because creatures vary.
Yeah.
And it's more territorial based. It's not even necessarily an intention of attacking you. There are some that'll still do it, but most of the time it's just, they want you to just leave.
Yeah. You're just like, please no.
Yeah.
We were taking a nap. Please go away.
And there's... And you guys would know this, at least Reyan and Harx would. The Feywild was a little harder to take over as a nation, as a plane, because it is all alive. It has so much things that can attack you. You can go
See
there
that
and
place?
fight
It's
stuff.
lovely. The grass will literally kill you. What do
Yeah,
you mean? See that corpse? Yeah, grass.
yeah. It is the sad reality of the Feywild that it is a
Yeah.
living plane. It is the opposite of the Shadowfell because the material plane's in the middle.
Right.
So it's kind of like the light to the dark. It's weird in the lore. Because the Feywild is 6. So it goes Shadowfell, material plane, Feywild. So you guys do know that basic knowledge. And then the ethereal plane's kind of like the limbo, almost, even though there is a limbo.
Yeah. It's the binding glue, basically.
Yeah! The ethereal's where, like, lost spirits go.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a nice change of pace compared to what you have seen, to not see so much destruction. Even what little bit you do see is not so bad compared to what you have seen.
Mm-hmm.
About as the sun is setting, there's still a little bit of light, but it's kind of that twilight look to it, where it's like just getting to where you can't see the sun anymore, but there's still light. You do eventually see remains of buildings in the distance. And as you approach it, he doesn't go down, like, lower himself anymore. He does kind of stay above it at the same level. But he does kind of stop and just hover there a bit, as you guys are still a little bit of distance away, and he's going to look back at all of you and So how do we want to approach this?
Hmm.
Carefully, obviously, but...
Do a quick pass over, see if anything's there. Creatures or other beings.
And depending on what it is, we may not see it until we're there.
What do I have in this inventory? And when I had nothing I can drop. It's upsetting.
Unfortunately, there's very few Feywild creatures that aren't intelligent. And most likely, if anything is there, the only way to draw it out is to be on the ground. Sad fact about the Feywild. Almost everything has a high intelligence.
You know what? I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Take me down.
Garrett's gonna look back at you.
Don't worry, I have a plan.
Alright. He doesn't say that, but that's the DM saying, alright. I'm just gonna put this because this was the only thing I could find that kind of worked.
Drop me off, then fly about 20 feet in the air.
Yeah. Yeah. That works for now. It doesn't have to be the full size unless...
Things happened.
Unless things happen. Even then, you can kind of roughly judge the squares.
Yeah.
You're saying this is a bad time to move to shoot Reyan in the face. I mean, what?
Always shoot Reyan in the face.
I don't recommend that with the feral vampire with us.
Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, so he'll land there, and he'll let you get off, and he'll go up 20 feet.
Alright. And he will kind of just begin taking a couple steps.
Okay. Roll me perception.
Let's see. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. At first glance, doesn't seem like there's been any activity here. It definitely is the remains of the village. How do I describe this? It doesn't look like there's any, like, you do see bloodstains on some of the walls. You do see, like, the remains of buildings being burned down and destroyed, and as you're going through it. Dying. Okay. So is my internet, apparently.
I'll do that either.
But you do, You take note that there are no remains of people.
Hmm.
You're not sure if that was maybe Ace's doing or if somebody returned here at one point.
Hmm.
With the dirty 20, it doesn't seem like there's anything there at the moment. But you're definitely feeling that familiarity of walking these streets.
He will wave for Garrett to just follow above him
Okay?
as he continues walking through.
Does anybody else follow?
Not quite as closely, but could I have Mihi just like look around, like specifically like
Look around from the air?
looking for?
So do a above perception?
Yeah, just above flies, but basically just keeping an eye for motion in and outside of, like, more along the outskirts of this town, like thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna move his token, but he's 20 feet above you,
That's
just
fine.
following, basically.
Yeah, that's fine.
Of course, the small child's coming with me.
Hey, being
She's probably
abducted.
about up here-ish, like looking in around outskirts, but kind of.
In the outskirts.
Well, looking around the outskirts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, roll me a perception from the air, then.
Cool. I am a flap. No.
How bad is no?
That is a whopping 2.
2!
Oh no!
Naturally.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, you're trying to look around, but it's getting dark. It's starting to, you kind of can't tell details because you have dark vision, right? So everything's grays and stuff to you right now. You're not seeing movement, you're not seeing anything. You see Harx and Garrett. That's about it.
So out of focus, they almost dropped the child, and like, oh shit! Not actually. She did not almost drop the child.
I hope
Unless
not.
she did.
Don't almost drop the child, please. You're carrying the poor child. You're carrying your poor warlock. Be nice to him.
I wouldn't do it intentionally.
Oh man. He's gonna stay about 30 or 40 feet above, basically. Kind of staying off in the corner. He doesn't want to make too much noise because there's already a lot of noise with the flapping because they're fucking dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Reyan, what do you do while Harx is kind of entering the city at this point, or the town village thing? It's more of a village size wise.
I feel like he's going to do the dumb thing and follow after Harx.
Oh, good God.
Because here's his thing. He's like, he wants to be nearby in case something bad happens.
The job of the local cleric, yeah.
Freaking cleric! So he's going to freaking land.
That's fair. You gonna stay by Harx then?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me your own perception then, since you're on the ground with him. With advantage, because you have Puck with you.
Yay! Okay, what is my perception on? I don't remember. Glad I have advantage. Hey, that's better. Thank you, Pup.
Pup? Puck.
Puck. Thank you.
I don't have alert command, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I should get one. I need to do that. I have a quote command.
23.
So I can't.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. How far into the town are you at this point, Harx?
I probably would have just kept walking until I got to, say, like a building or something.
Like I said, for the
Well,
streets feel
remains of.
familiar. So you're walking a path that you feel like you know
Mm.
towards a specific home.
He would sense Reyan land near him. I really hope you're quick to fly upward.
Guess we'll find out.
We will, considering I can leave the ground before you can.
Ran,
Mm-hmm.
as you're walking, you don't see anything. But you swear you hear something.
So...
Almost like the skitter scatter in the distance of, like, when you're near one of those larger bugs that, like, makes that kind of noise. So you do hear movement, basically. And it sounds like that's what it kind of reminds you of, is like when you're near, like, beetles and stuff like that, where they make that noise when they walk across surfaces.
Ew.
Because they're a little heavier.
Yeah. He's gonna be very, very aware of that and try and keep watch.
Did you say anything?
You hear it because you're passing this building. You hear it somewhere in here, but you can't pinpoint the location inside because it is opened up from the destruction,
Yeah.
but it's so dark inside the buildings now that it's gotten dark outside, or starting to get dark.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if he'll say anything. It doesn't feel like it's heading toward us. He just hears it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
Because
So, I
dark
don't
vision, I will note, is based on if there's any light source for your eyes to, like, reflect and see into areas. So there are still areas that are pitch black to people with dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's no light source going into that spot, you can't see into that.
Real quick note. I don't know if this changes anything, just because I have to ask in order to understand fully things.
Mhm.
I have Eyes of the Night from Twilight Domain stuff, so it says that I can see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision out to a range of 300 feet. In that radius, you can see in dim light as if bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. Does that
Okay.
change anything?
Okay, that does.
And
So you
and
look
I will.
towards the noise and you see something dart in the shadows.
I would like to add to Reyan being able to do that.
You didn't roll high enough, unfortunately.
I'm just
that.
saying in general. Devil's Sight I can see normally in darkness, both magical and not magical.
Yes. That's a bit different, but you did not quite roll high enough.
That's fine. I'm scared.
So you did see something move in the shadows. You couldn't quite catch what it was,
Keep walking.
but it skittered.
He's gonna keep walking.
Yeah, Rand's gonna keep up with Harx, but keep an eye on where that is to the best of his ability. It doesn't seem hostile right now, but if it starts looking like it might become hostile at some point.
You can't tell its intentions yet. You just know it moved.
Yeah.
Anything worries you, save yourself.
Yeah, you know that's not how I work, right?
It is when I can go by myself and not take anyone else.
Well, then I will make sure you do that before I go.
He just keeps walking.
Listen, Harx has had a recent pattern of doing the I'm going to face tank this thing even though I probably shouldn't.
I'm gonna face take this thing as a warlock. Let's go.
Look, Reyan gonna learn. Reyan gonna learn what he's meaning by this soon.
That's perfectly fine. He will learn. But right now, the current pattern is Harx is gonna get himself killed if I don't stay close.
Fair. We are gonna continue off of the perceptions that you already rolled. Because I'm not gonna make you just constantly roll every time you go a few feet.
Fair. Yeah. That's
Um.
probably better that way because I probably won't roll any higher.
You're eventually gonna get there.
Okay.
So if you wanna like start moving. Yeah. Reyan,
I dropped it directly in front of it. Oh my god.
Reyan, you keep hearing these noises as you pass by these empty buildings. And sometimes you see the movement, sometimes you don't. It doesn't look or sound like people. Based on the way it's moving, darting so quick, and the noise you're hearing. Because occasionally you hear like... What's that noise that certain bugs make? The little like... did any of you guys ever see that movie about the alien bugs and the noise they'd make?
No, but I can imagine.
Off the top of my head, I might have,
District
but it's
9?
been a while. Yes!
District 9.
That's
That
a
noise
good
is
movie.
what Reyan is hearing. Is kind of like the little...
God.
They're not...
Oh, I don't like that noise.
Kind of like, I can't make that noise, okay? Like, I don't know how to make that noise.
It's not
Remember
chittering or
and-
anything.
If I
It's not
remember right, They
chittering.
made that noise in the movie by rubbing styrofoam together.
Oh, I hate that.
Did they really? I don't have
I will do some
styrofoam.
research while shit continues. One moment.
Yeah, so it's like... the clanking of, like... You hear, like, how crabs clank their claws and things like that. Those kind of noises, too. So it varies, but you kind of hear... It
I was
doesn't
wrong. It
sound
was rubbing
human.
a pumpkin.
It's what?
Those sounds were created by rubbing a pumpkin.
I don't have a pumpkin.
Rub the
Alright.
pumpkin.
With that in mind, and if it's very specific to buildings, it's,
Whatever it is, they
To-
seem to be in the buildings that you can tell.
yeah, with all of that in mind, he is going to mention to Harx, we may want to avoid entering buildings, if at all possible.
He's saying this as Harx gets to the front of a subconsciously familiar building.
Yep.
You're probably still standing outside of it.
I'll be completely honest. Harx blocks it out.
Oh, God.
He doesn't hear it. And he's actually going to say something under his breath. And I will message you what it is. Fox.
Whispers.
But why? My perception's so high.
You determine if she hears that, if Reyan hears that or not.
Oh, you did. You are paying very close attention and you rolled pretty high.
My passive is also a 15.
Now go
Then
on,
you
my passive. You're going off your perception or your
Active.
passive?
I will go off of my perception because it is higher than my passive. But also
I
just
would
the
say
fact-
Reyan is staying close enough to you that he might catch that.
Then Reyan hears under his breath, "Mom, Dad, I'm home,"
Oh.
as he opens the door.
That's fair.
Harx?
You can see as like the memories come back. You get flashes of how this place used to look. And flashes of where you were hidden. As your mother told you to stay quiet. It's now currently buried under rubble. But that's all you get right now.
Hmm.
You can't remember faces, but you can kind of remember being happy once. And you remember the fear of not wanting to disobey your mom as she begged you to be quiet.
Does Reyan follow him in?
Yes, because you're going into the heckin' house when he just said, don't go in the house!
Okay, let me rephrase. How far behind Harx is he?
He's pretty close. He wants to stay close enough to, like, touch you if something were to hurt you.
Here's what's going to happen. As he enters, as you go to follow him, he's going to attempt to shut the door behind him.
Ah!
I mean, I'm not going to roll strength. He's not going to shut the door.
Mm.
It's not going to shut all the way if Reyan's right behind him. But just, again, he's blocking everything else out around him. Just subconsciously shutting the door behind him.
Yeah, he's gonna catch the door and then slip in and then try and grab hold of the back of Harx's shirt.
Is there a chair?
I'd say yes. Might not be the sturdiest one. It's kind of laying on its side.
You said he grabs Harx by the back of his shirt.
Yeah, like, just the bottom back of it. Trying to get his attention.
Keeps walking and walks towards the chair.
Harx!
He picks up the chair, sets it down, and sits down in it.
Reyan is very nervously looking around them as he's staying as close to Harx as possible because something is not right.
Do that. This chair manages to hold your weight. It is still... It's definitely a little wobbly, but does manage to not break under you. Ran in the rubble under part of the collapsed roof, you hear that noise again.
Crap. Harx, we need to leave now.
I love how these guys are all just like not aware of what's going on.
He just starts saying, You have to be quiet. Promise me you'll be quiet.
What's he?
Be scared. Another voice flashes through your mind.
Don't be scared.
Reyan, how nervous are you?
He's anxious. He wants.
Anxious? Did you say that you're... Would you say that you're scared right now?
I would say yes, just because he doesn't know what this thing is, and because he grew up here. That alone is dangerous.
Okay. Good to know.
I triggered the DM's trap card.
You need to make me a wisdom save.
Crap. My wisdom is good. My wisdom is good. My wisdom is good. That is not good. That's only an 11.
Just beats the DC.
Oh, gods!
So you didn't trigger one event, but you did trigger another because they are drawn to fear.
Crap.
As you see in the darkness, these glowing eyes and pincers on its face. Where are you in the building so I can kind of figure out how this thing will be looking?
Wherever the chair would have been, he would have just sat it.
Yeah, right there.
He would have just sat it up and just sat directly down right there, just staring towards like the center of the room.
Nope, I did not mean to.
You, because of your feat as a Twilight cleric, can see more features of this face because you're paying attention.
Yay!
And you see this thing poking its head out.
I hate it, thank you!
Now I will refer to all the puns that I was posting earlier.
Yep.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
See, as you were doing the puns, I was sitting there like trying to put an image in my head of what the fuck is she talking about? It's like, what kind of creature is this? What the fuck?
You don't know what kind of creature this is staring at you, Reyan, but you do know. Actually, you know what? Roll me a history check to see if you would immediately recognize the creature, because you did live in the Feywild.
Oh, look at that. I can roll better now. 17.
17?
This
immediately triggers this was a bedtime story to scare kids.
I had a feeling.
Without making them, like, fully, like, afraid. This was more to keep them from... Why most people in the Feywild can kind of go with a demeanor of no fear.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is known as a meanlock.
Oh, dear.
They are deformed feyfolk that are spawned from moments of intense fear. Wriggling out of the shadows to torment any living things nearby. Basically, when people are scared enough, these things come into existence.
I hate the fact that I'm about to say this, but seeing that is going to trigger another, like, big wide-eyed, like, crap response.
And
He is going to
start hearing this around the building now, too.
He is going to start shaking, like, reaching behind him, because I imagine he probably moved around when he started seeing the skittering, and based on the fact that Harx is obviously not all there right now, he is trying to actively protect him. He's going to grab hold of Harx's shoulder and shake the crap out of him.
And we'll let you determine how that would go, Jay, because it's your character.
He's also casting Shield of Faith on you right now while he's doing that.
Fair response.
Okay, here's where players want to say, just straight up, the spell I was trying to reference earlier was Misty Step.
Right, and that's fine.
I can get off the ground faster than he can.
Cool. Great,
let's
grand.
see. What would he do?
Mihi, since this is happening at the same time, and you're still looking around, I'm gonna have you roll another perception.
Cool.
Auntie, help!
Because
That's a 13.
13. Still not enough. Because now they're passively stealthing towards the building. If Harx wasn't spaced out, he would notice this too.
Here's how he would go. He would stand, put his hand on Reyan's shoulder. Don't be scared. Stay quiet. And he will cast darkness centered on himself.
Okay.
Be more specific, on a dagger on his belt.
Okay.
So that it will travel with him.
Okay. Is Reyan still scared? Now that he can't see. Well, yeah, you can't see in magical darkness, can you?
I cannot. That is the one thing that I can't see through.
And that's why Harx put his hand on his shoulder.
You guys will see Garrett kind of, as he sees that, start, like, circling the building a bit. As if he's looking to see what triggered that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it is technically still out of his sight line. And his passive is not that high either.
Honestly, I'm trying to.
You could do
think
like a
through.
wisdom save if you'd like, if you think that would be enough. To see if he calms down with Harx's words.
He is not confident that Harx is still there, and especially with just the
I
random.
think he's holding
cast-
your shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's true.
so he's just not sure what all exactly Harx is aware of right now,
Hmm. Okay.
and that's making him nervous because he needs to get both of them out of there. And now he's also aware of the fact that, you know, right, these things smell fear. Crap, I'm scared. And
Okay.
It's just, you know, the compounding fear of, like, I need to not be afraid, but dear gods, I'm afraid of these things.
Yeah. So Harx, technically everybody else would see this because now they're not paying any attention to the things above. They can't get to the things above. So they're not caring that Garrett's up there at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the thing that's in their view. So this thing crawls out. I'm assuming Mihi flies closer when she sees that, at least. I'm just gonna put a few of them. There's several of them, but they're staying kind of around the dark cloud. I went and found different pictures just to make it more fun.
I don't like them.
You're welcome.
Also, it's not just that whole thing. He is still only 16 and has only experienced so much. This is terrifying to him.
Yeah, they don't seem to
That's a
be
puppy.
entering the cloud, essentially. They're kind of looking at it curiously. They don't seem to be able to see through it, though.
Mhm.
They can still sense Reyan. But it's like they're trying to find him now. They can sense that aura of fear. So yeah, they would be about
Harx
50.
will begin walking Reyan to the door.
Garrett is currently not attacking them until they go to make a move. He's essentially holding like an action to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, he'll walk Reyan to the door.
Normally, I will say as a DM, I did change a little bit of the dynamic of this creature because I like the idea that they are more drawn to enemies that are scared of them
Yeah.
than to just straight up torment anything they come across.
Yeah.
So that's side note. If anybody looks it up, that's why, for like chat knowledge and all that. So they're following, staying just outside the cloud, essentially. There's several of them. I only put 3 pictures, but there are several of them kind of following, but they're not entering or attacking.
I'm going to let you know, Harx. It's very reluctant because I don't know if he knows that you can perfectly see fine.
It hasn't been used very often. I think it's been
He hasn't used
once.
darkness yet. He hasn't used darkness
No.
at all yet.
So he doesn't know you can see. So he doesn't know what's going on at all. He is holding on to your arm and is reluctantly following, but he is basically dragging his feet, trying to make sure he's not tripping over something or bumping into something that he doesn't want to bump into.
Yeah. When they eventually get to the door, he will pull Reyan out, will lean in, fly to Garrett, fly straight up. Let him know I know what I'm doing.
I am not leaving you here.
Either you leave me here, or I don't get answers. And the things that have been following us will eventually get you.
Not exactly helping.
They're focused on you, Reyan. You're afraid. Don't be afraid.
Too late for that.
Lie up.
Just leave you down here by yourself.
I will be out should anything happen. Trust me.
God. I'm trying to decide how he would react to that. Because I basically just explained the whole reason why he was following Harx in the first place. Doesn't want to go. He just doesn't want to leave Harx down here. He's more afraid something will happen to Harx if he does.
All you hear in the darkness is all that chittering. and stuff, and bones.
Which is not helping.
Creaking. You're welcome.
Again, that compounding thing where it's like he kind of calms down and then something will trigger the next, like, wave of like, haha, no! Yeah, he's not even gonna respond to that. He's just going to tighten his grip basically on your arm.
Oh, I'm be a troll here.
Great.
Actually, no, I won't. You're lucky. You're very lucky that warlocks only have 2 spell slots. I was going to shove him forward and then Misty stepped back into the door and shut the door behind him.
That would not have ended well for you.
No, it wouldn't have ended well for you.
Yeah, that's also true.
Because Reyan hasn't seemed to realize that they're only targeting one of you right now.
Even though Harx just said they're focused on you.
Okay, here's the thing. He does recognize that his fear is causing the issue. It is trying to get himself to calm down to a point to stop that. When everything continues to just spiral back into that spot.
You know what?
Important
This
question.
is what. Uh-huh.
Am I above a building right now?
Yes, if that's where you stopped, you would be.
Okay. Is there like a stable place I could set an innocent being that is not on the ground here?
It would probably take a couple, like, putting your foot on it to see if it seems stable, but yes, you could probably find a spot on the roof that is still supported enough, like in the corner, that he could sit on without falling, because he's light enough.
Alright, should be but a moment.
Oh, okay. So you probably set him, like, here.
Kinda doesn't look over to Flap, just like, keep an eye on the boy.
He just nods, he would know what you mean.
Yeah, and she's just gonna flap down the darkness level, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys are out or by the door,
Yeah.
right? So you're more, like, here.
Yeah, he would have. Oh God, you just spent all that time getting Puck to stay on your token, and I just knocked it off.
I know.
Echo your hard work.
Here's what I want to. I
Fly,
want to turn
fly.
him around because he would have got him out the door first. That's why he said to fly straight up.
What's the
You would
range
be
on darkness? 15 or 20?
15-foot radius.
Okay.
So technically, you would be within the darkness right now.
Yeah,
Just
you'd
walked
be
in realizing,
standing-
oh fuck, I can't see shit.
Yeah, you probably have to stand, like, back here, technically. Yeah.
So, the reason for the darkness? This weird shadow stuff of which I forgot how the fuck I was gonna say that in old-timey.
So the creatures can't see him. The ones they're targeting.
I'm assuming I see this thing now.
Yeah, as they're not looking at you. They're looking, you see them all kind of start to gather around the front now.
He will grab Reyan by the shoulders. And even though Reyan can't see him, he will look directly in Reyan's face. You can't see me. I can see you perfectly. I can see how afraid you are, and it's not helping. They are focused on you and you alone. So either deep breath, gather your fear and tuck it away, or fly up.
I want to do something stupid right now. Sorry. Continue.
Or I shove you to your great aunt and she will fly you up.
He's just going to close his eyes and basically reach his hand up to where the holy symbol and the locket are and just kind of clasp that in his hand, trying to breathe back down.
Sorry, I got distracted. The cat did something.
I heard that. I was like,
Cat knocked something off. Okay, to be fair, Pumpkin fell off the bed yesterday, so all of a sudden I heard a thud and I saw him on the ground and he got up like nothing happened and walked out. He like rolled over. Oh, that poor boy. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Okay. He's just going to take a couple deep breaths and...
Alright, roll me either.
Hmm?
Are you trying to calm down?
Yeah.
Roll me either a wisdom or deception. Because they're going to essentially insight the feeling.
Just a check or a save when it comes to wisdom.
Save.
Okay, wisdom save and a deception check. So, we're gonna go with
One,
wisdom.
yeah. It's fine. One or the other will work. Because they can...
Okay.
They're looking at the feeling that you have right now.
Okay. 19.
19?
Yeah. That is a wisdom save.
You calm yourself. You manage to focus and take some notes from Mom and Dad when you had to force yourself to stay calm in situations. Make it look like nothing bothered you in that moment. Mihi, because you could see this better than Harx can right now. You kind of watch these creatures and they sniff the air a bit. Kind of look at the shadow again. And they'll slowly start backing up into the shadows. Essentially. They kind of drift off into different areas. Again. I'll put him back in there because that's actually where he came from.
It seems your new friends have absconded.
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 beautiful word.
I love it.
Listen, I've been looking for an excuse to use that specific word for at least 2 weeks because it's just such a good word.
Beautiful. All right. Now,
If anything, they might have like looked at Julius a little bit, but he's too high up and they kind of just wandered off, essentially.
they're like, too much effort.
They
We're going back to the shadows.
do not have range.
Oh, fair.
Or a climb speed or anything like that.
Mm.
So they don't
Gotcha.
have any way to get to him effectively. It's not worth the small space.
Fair. All right. So here's what we're going to do, Reyan. We're going to go back inside. I will drop the spell. And we're going to dig out something.
Are you going to zone out on me again?
Well, my apologies when someone Fair.
Wait, what?
The tabletop chat is broken but that is a post-stream conversation to explain.
Okay. Oh, is it another, issue like before?
Maybe.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. How does
At
that
least on the
surprise me?
On the global end, as far as why it doesn't work in game, I don't fucking know.
They probably just disabled the coding in general.
Maybe. But we'll see after.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait. What?
Is this Spire back?
I'm here,
Yes.
sorry. I had not refreshed the thing to get back into the game yet.
Okay. As you were saying, Harx, I apologize for the sudden drop because my internet hates me.
Oh no, that's fine.
It works now?
Apparently, I just typed something in it. Anyways, as we were,
Interesting.
but I guess Reyan just said something about him chasing out. Well, my apologies for, returning home to where I was born, and knowing I was going to be returning to no one.
I understand. It is more of just preparing for the off chance it happens again.
And if it happens again, I'm still not the main focus of these things.
I could remain calm this time, knowing it will happen.
It might. Anyways, he will drop the spell,
Okay.
turn, and walk back in building.
Okay.
Just a real quick from outside.
Mhm.
Thy farewell in there. Why the fuck am I British now? Fuck.
Because Harx is.
Anyway. Yes, thy faring well. It's something old timey.
It's something. Follows after Harx.
Okay.
What was it she
Going
said?
to-
Because I didn't catch it fully as a player.
Oh, she was asking if people were faring well in there.
Mhm.
In slightly old-timey speak that went a bit British
Fair.
for some reason. No, don't know why.
Perfect.
What?
For the time being,
Okay. She is going to flap and pick up her passenger again.
shut the door behind you, please.
Fair. He did set down the big heavy metal thing below where Julius was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fair.
Because that thing doesn't feel emotion. Technically. It can show some annoyance and stuff, but it doesn't technically feel emotion, so he's not worried about it.
Fair.
This is the
It's
one
also
time-
not living.
It feels enough to know to tell people to fuck off, and that's probably about it.
Yeah, that's essentially.
This is the one time I needed calm emotions, and that is something I did not have prepared.
But yeah. So roll me an investigation check as you're
Alright.
digging through the rubble and everything, trying to find clues about your past.
Have a help action.
A help action!
And
Yeah.
a guidance.
And
Oh Jesus! So it's plus a D4 advantage and plus a D4. Okay.
Yes, because cleric.
Okay. Well, now I roll a D4 on top of. So that makes it a 24 total.
Jesus.
It was already a 22. Then I rolled a 2 on the D4.
Okay. You find a couple simple things that you just vaguely remember, like some old toys that probably got pretty damaged in the fire. You find some of your mother's possessions, some jewelry and things, and even some of your father's stuff. You find, like, remnants of some of the clothes he wore and things like that. Just general keepsakes for that part. Obviously, you're well aware that they did not have time to pack when they left.
No, they did not. They, yeah, no. No.
You do come across dried blood soaked into the floor. You also, as you're digging through what you remember to be your parents' bedroom, blood was out, like, in more of, like, the living area.
Mm-hmm.
Not too far from where you were hidden away.
Yeah.
You find a symbol. It's burned and tattered. It's on a I don't want to say tapestry, it's smaller than that.
Oh.
But it's something that was folded up neatly and kind of tucked away in the drawers, essentially. So it didn't get too damaged, but it has suffered some damage, and it looks like the symbol of a silver leaf and a almost druidic looking tree behind it. Roll me another history check to see if you can recall anything about this.
I am. Okay. A number in this. I have a number in history. 18.
18? The best you can remember is you recall asking about it once as a child because you had found this. And all you can remember is your father calling it a safe haven.
He will pick it up and place it in his bag along with just a bunch of the other stuff he would have found. He would have thrown that into his bag as well.
Okay. Yeah, you find some, like I said, some jewelry and probably some of your father's, like, personal possessions and things like that that you can hold on to. One thing that you can't seem to fully recall is you feel like you're missing something because you rolled high enough.
Mm-hmm.
You remember there was 3 bedrooms.
Oh.
He knows which one was his parents. I'm assuming he would know which one was his.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the other one. Or what's left of it.
Now you are pretty sure. You can't recall if you had a sibling, if you had a family member living there, but it does look lived in at one point. Like there are possessions in there. It doesn't look like toys or anything, so if it was a sibling, it would have been an older child. If it was like a family member, you know, that's also possible too. Or it could have just been a friend that lived with you guys. But it definitely looks like somebody had lived in that room, and you just can't seem to recall it. Sadly, your history check was a bit lower. I was going to go off the same history check for that.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a little harder to remember, because you were pretty young. Unfortunately, this looks like probably the side that was hit. Well, actually, no, fortunately, this is the side that was the least damaged of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not sure if anybody got away.
Mm.
It doesn't look like enough blood for 3 people. That's about as much as you can determine.
He will take some of the belongings from this room.
Okay.
I will add on the character sheet. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I'll figure out some of belongings, like specific belongings for you to add at some point. Because I didn't expect you quite roll that high. But
fair.
yeah. So that is what you find. Personal possessions and something that you remember your father referring to as a safe haven.
So walk back out into the main area. All right, let's go.
All right. Did you find what you were looking for?
I found enough.
All right.
Well, no. You rolled, what, a 24?
Yep.
Whether or not you mention this, but you can keep it as a mental note. It doesn't... You know that Ace was here at one point, so it could have just been him, but it does look like somebody has looked through this building before.
Okay.
That's something you would have to ask him personally, whether it was him or someone else.
Yeah. Yep, he'll just head towards the door and be ready to exit after Reyan exits.
Yep. We'll step out, but not far.
He will turn and give one last look inside.
Just to elaborate more on that.
Hmm. He'll take one last look inside the building. Goodbye. And we'll shut the door behind him.
Yeah.
My heart. I'm sorry, Harx.
Yeah, well. Unfortunately, it's about 20 years too late. He'll just kind of look around out the outside area before. Go ahead and fly up. All of you.
Land and pick up this thing again.
I'm going to skip the second stop. I'll go straight back.
Second stop.
Last known location.
Oh.
But I have a place I would like to ask some questions about. Might be a trip for another time.
Alright.
Go ahead, fly up.
Staying in range.
That's fine. I'll be up on with Garrett soon.
He's only going up like 30 feet.
Well, that's fine.
Fair.
He is not leaving the range in which he can get back to Harx or can shout a healing word down.
What about Mihi, Drag?
You had them muted.
Right. Fuck. Yeah, hey, things left my brain the moment I said them.
Love it.
I feel like this boy does not need to be touching the ground right now.
It might be safe.
So she is just going to flap within relative stabbing distance of anything that might harm other people.
Fair.
Well, she can't stab because she's kind of carrying a child, but you know what I mean. She is an Apache attack helicopter right now.
All right.
Garrett
After-
will stay kind of in that range that you told him to before.
Yeah. After everybody leaves the ground, he will speak up to a louder volume.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anyone living here, speak now. Make yourself known. If there's not, then the creatures that call this place home currently, I suggest you move on as there's nothing to feed on here. There's nothing left. So get out.
You don't hear any responses.
and he will Misty Step onto Garrett's back.
Alright. Alright. You guys heading off back to the home?
Yeah. Unless anybody else wants to stop anywhere else.
Yeah, that'll depend on how this flight goes.
Fair. I'm just gonna move you all off of this board and right here, so I can. Do you guys have any conversations on the trip
flight?
back? Yes, because are you guys gonna stop to rest anywhere? Actually, is probably the better question. Or are you gonna push through the night?
She leaves that with the people who actively require sleep.
I am on dragon back. I am not flying.
That's true.
Yeah. He's freaking stubborn. He wants to try and get back to where everybody else is. Number one, he knows it's a little safer over there.
Julius probably falls asleep. Me after a while.
That's fine.
And wait.
Time to change how you're holding him.
There really aren't very many ways she can hold him midair.
Yeah.
There's I don't know what the fuck it's properly called, but there's a princess carry, and that's just about it.
I mean, on her back, maybe, but she is flying, so that might make it more difficult.
Yep, that would fuck the wings. Why can't you do that?
Yeah, she's not like the dragon. She doesn't have that back area to have somebody sit on.
Princess carry is just about all that can happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the fly spell doesn't last very long, or Jax would have that, so Reyan could rest, but he can't.
Yeah, it lasts like an
Yeah.
hour.
If anybody had been watching him, he had been more just alert to the creatures that were there, but
He was more observing.
yeah.
Player knows what Zarvus told him to do.
Mhm.
Zarvus told him to protect him. To protect
Yeah.
Reyan.
About that, because Rand's not gonna talk to Harx right now, because Harx is in a spot and he knows that.
Mhm.
And just continuing to poke it is not gonna help anything. He is curious about why Jax came, though, because he literally didn't really poke around anything too much, so... because he has no idea.
Yeah. Too bad he doesn't really talk.
Also,
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up.
I sent you a message, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it out loud.
That's
Was
probably
there
why
like a
it
little...
was pinging.
Sorry. My apologies. Was there like a little side table with a drawer in that one room he investigated that wasn't his parents or his?
I guess.
Just asking because I'm just going to send something he would have written down and slipped in the drawer before he left that room.
Okay. Here, go to bed, baby. Here. Bed. Assuming anybody returns there now, this long after.
He's leaving it there to see what happens. But yeah. I'm soaring, flying.
I will kill you.
I know you will.
Alright, again, I will need con saves from the, 2 flaps.
Oh, dang. Ryan's freaking stubborn.
No, I think he's just on adrenaline right now.
Yeah, probably.
I almost got killed because I was afraid.
I was scared.
15.
15.
Wait, hold on. Wait, yeah. I'll do it again. Don't mind me.
I got a 19.
19. The 15 works for me, the 19 works for Reyan, not half passing out on the way home, but you are going to, because you're pushing through the night, end up with an exhaustion.
Yeah. Fair.
So,
Fair and valid.
unless any conversations happen, you do return to the house
Yes.
as
Mihi?
on his break.
Mihi?
Hmm?
Did you sounded like you were gonna...
Well, the only conversations I have planned don't exactly work in a group scenario.
Ah, gotcha.
Fair. I'm just gonna put these guys here because they're in the building. I'm not bringing out all those maps again.
Fair.
Yeah, you return back to the house just as the sun is starting to rise.
Ooh.
Reyan, you're tired.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Probably.
as you land, it all just hits you and you're just tired.
Just kind of rubs his eyes and then fixes his hood because it keeps slipping from flying so fast.
Yeah. Jax just hops off the dragon and goes straight inside.
Good news, your son's not dead.
Basically. Unless he stopped, he will just head straight in.
Not gonna stop the feral vampire right now.
No, Harx will.
Oh.
As he goes to walk in, Harx will probably be watching as far as Reyan, getting off and probably about to fall over from being tired.
Mhm.
He'll just put his arm out in front of Jax, turn to him. Thanks for keeping an eye on us. Even though it's more so for him.
He just nods.
Put his arm down and let him continue.
No, keep walking. Game saving.
No. Bad time, game.
Yeah.
The feral vampire wants to move.
Yeah.
Osmos said, give it about 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, that was a first.
He will come over and
Which
will assist
specifically?
Reyan inside.
I can walk.
I'm
Also,
assuming
Mihi
this
asked
being is
Ray-
still very unconscious.
Yes, he is not woken up yet.
Also, I believe Mihi asked Reyan which part, or something to that effect.
The language of that was new.
Yeah.
The all night flying. I haven't had much experience with that.
See.
Actually, I don't think he'd change back. I think he'd just curl up in the grass and lay down to sleep.
Where does this one go?
Go ahead and find a couch or something to lay him down on.
I am so tempted to have her ask what a couch is, but I'm pretty sure she knows at least that.
A long chair.
She
Long
knows what that
chair.
is by now.
Long chair.
Jay, get out.
Animo kind of walk over and crouch down a bit if you want to, basically offering to take him for you.
Sure, that is his trusted companion.
Yeah. Try to lay him across his back or something. He just kind of curls up with him. But yeah, he will go inside with little Julius.
We should
Victor
be.
Julius. Right, if you can walk your tail inside and go get some sleep. Or at least enough rest to operate.
I can operate, just a little slower.
Because I feel as if I
Throw a pebble.
Harx was about to say, I feel as if I push you, you'll fall over to the ground. Get inside and get some
Fine.
rest.
Just walking inside. I'm not tired.
Not tired, Mom.
And then there were 2.
4.
You fools!
Yeah, he's laying down
Asleep.
to sleep. Yeah, he's not quite asleep, but you could tell he's like trying to.
I see. Which means there's but one I must outlast here. You fools! You have triggered my trap card.
Oh,
Harx is just going to sit on the ground and just kind of stare off into the forest.
Right. So, Flap Flap walks next to you and, like, takes a seat.
Garrett's actually probably found like a spot to sit down. He's more keeping an eye out on the dragon that decided to sleep outside.
In dragon form.
Yeah, just, Flap Flap just sitting next to you, staring out in the direction you're staring at for some reason. Over here. Okay. Something out there. And it's at this point I officially give up on the old-timey speech because fuck it, she's speaking Celestial anyway.
Fair enough. I don't know. I would hope so, but
Think you found what you were looking for?
something like that. Hopefully a lead, but I feel like that's all I'm going to come across after this long.
Someone left behind?
Say again.
Someone left behind?
No, there was no one. There was no one left there. As far as I knew, I was the last one there. After everything happened, and after further information was found, seems to be not the case. But there's still nothing left there.
Fuck, does she go into this? I assume they were quite important to you.
That was my family home that we were inside of. That was the town where I was born. Friends, family. Other townspeople.
How much value do you put in their memory?
He'll pat his chest over his heart. Enough to keep them alive in here.
I'll like look at you for a minute. And how was death ever an option?
Death is an option when protecting someone you think has more promise than you do.
I look at you confused for a moment. Well, not for about a minute, maybe. I was mistaken. It seems you were actively chasing it. Seemed. Sorry, not seems. Seemed. Past tense here.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it? But if you look back at all of the moments I put myself in harm's way, I was actively getting in the way of making sure Reyan or Julius, hell, even drawing attention from you sometimes, making sure none of you got injured or hurt or killed. By no means was I searching for it intentionally or just wanting to die. If someone's going to, I would rather be me than the people that can continue to live on.
Do I feel like you're bullshitting me right now?
He's not. I'll be 100% honest, if you want to roll an insight anyway, he is being straightforth honest.
Then I will take your word for it, but she'll definitely look like if she's like trying to gauge you.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows she's an ignorant being, and sometimes your words might confuse on purpose. Right. I see. That's all she has on her end, actually. I believe. If there's something later, I will remember it, and then I'll be like, fuck, I can do it later.
Fair enough.
So I just realized that that dragon tail is really, really fluffy.
It is. Because they turn into more like a beast-like dragon than a scaly.
Oh, yeah. She'll be there for a bit in case like he wants to chat with her or otherwise just exist in the general vicinity of her presence.
He kind of just keeps staring off into the distance. He doesn't really say much of else. Every so often you'll see his eyes kind of dart around in the trees and just kind of...
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Otherwise...
Yeah. Some of the pixies probably come and lay down on his fur.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he's back.
He's warm!
So cute.
That one thing I need to add.
Mhm.
One thing Harx would know if if he looked over at me, she seemed very thinky.
Mm-hmm.
Thinky. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Continue.
I believe this is a good spot to call it. Because after several hours, once they feel you guys have rested for a little bit, we'll probably come out and ask you guys if you're ready to head back. So that is, I think that's a good place to call it.
Right.
And we can continue it tomorrow.
Woo!
Alright.
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 We're gonna save it. Oh,
Awesome.
yes. And we're gonna go look around and we're gonna go say hello to someone. So who should we go say hello?
Go say hi.
Yes.
I'm gonna go say hi to somebody. Let's go.
We're gonna go say hi to Yes.
The temptation to look up to see if there's a streamer with the name Yes live right now is real.
I'm on it.
I don't think they're. If they have that, they might not be an active streamer.
Probably not.
They're part of a stream team also featuring Noah and Maybe.
Let's see, we got Raven playing DVD. We got all my fucking Red Dead RP people. Morphus sleeping, doing another stream thing, okay. Thank you for all the bits, Jay. Wow, my fucking thing is so limited. Hunt, DVD, Evil Dead, Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption. I feel like I have a theme.
What?
I'm
like-
looking at Valorant, music, Dead by Daylight. I'm only sleeping, which is Morph. Fortnite, Evil Dead,
Let's go
Red
say
Dead,
hi.
Hunt, Dead by Daylight, Red Dead.
Let's go say hi to Calamity. I don't raid him very often.
Cute.
He's doing, looks like some hunt giveaways. I'm
Ooh.
assuming that's what he's doing.
Heyo.
Because he's playing hunt, so... We're gonna move this over here, and we're gonna do DragDread. I'm gonna say hello to Calamity.
Calamity.
Oh, you!
He's a nice dude, very chill.
Oh, I'm so glad I waited for you to actually do the raid thing for that, because I would have spelled that name so wrong and looked up somebody else.
Yes.
Just saying.
He is also a daddy, and once in a while you get to see Babu on stream.
Oh,
Yes. Alright, everybody. Thank you for coming to hang out. I love that I got an ad as soon as I went to go say bye. But
Beautiful.
Oh, you know, this happens.
I'll see you guys over there.
Bye!
Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, stream.